Hello, so today I want to talk about SEO for CBD brands. CBD sloth might have taken over a fair portion of my life, but my main day-to-day tasks are as a marketing consultant. I've worked in marketing for 9 years and I'm a judge for the EU Search Awards and the UK Agency Awards, and I run a marketing conference called Take It Offline. I therefore wanted to provide some details and tips for those looking to enhance the SEO for their CBD brand. Firstly, link building. It might be a hard industry to gain links in, but this is one of the most pivotal factors in increasing your rankings on search engines. I've written up a guide on the best tactics for CBD link building, and I've also just posted a video as well on this. Therefore, I won't dive too deep into this subject. One big benefit is that not many CBD brands have many powerful referring domains. Therefore, you can quickly overtake all of your competitors. You should focus on powerful links. A piece in a newspaper with a follow link will be worth 1,000 rubbish links. Local SEO. If you have a brick and mortar, or even if you don't, you should have both a large SEO strategy and a local SEO strategy. I wrote a guide on local SEO for CBD shops, and say it once again, I've also just done a video on this, so I recommend checking that out. However, this should always be adapted for any CBD business. You need to make sure you have a consistent name, address, and phone number on every website that's mentioning your brand. So if you've changed your phone number over time, you need to go back to every local directory or any site that has you listed and make sure it's up to date. Get plenty of links from these local based websites and build out your Google My Business profile. Content strategy. You can build all the links you want, but if you've got no articles to go up in the rankings, it would all be time wasted. You need to build out a content strategy to work out which terms you should be targeting. There should be a mix between blog posts and key pages on the site. To offer an example, I have a 6-month content strategy on CBD sloth. If you have the budget, you can load these terms you're targeting into a keyword tracking tool such as SEMrush or AccuRanker, so you can monitor how well you rank for them over time. When working out what to write about, you should look from multiple angles. Firstly, what might your potential customer be typing in during the various stages in the research process? You have to be careful not to highlight the potential benefits, as this will break various legalizations around CBD, as I'm sure you know. You should also read up on the Google Medic update, which significantly affected various CBD brands and others in the medical industry. It targeted YMYL sites, meaning your money, your life, meaning any site that are offering advice which could affect people's health or wallets. If you're getting content written, you might want to either get it written by someone who's medically qualified or to get it read and medically approved by someone who's qualified. Make sure to clearly state their qualifications. I'd recommend eating up on EAT signals. Who is the target audience for CBD? The target audience for CBD is generally 25 to 45 with a relatively high budget. 13% of people between 20 and 30 in the UK have tried CBD, whereas only 7% have between 50 and 60, highlighting a definitive age gap. The audience is normally people looking to solve various ailments. While most forms of search are now done on mobiles, around 70-80%, this is largely the reverse in the CBD industry, with 73% of search coming through desktop. The most common device is the iPhone, unsurprisingly, with Samsung Galaxy S9 in second, highlighting the audience have a high budget. Most searches happen via Internet Explorer, which is very uncommon to see. Set up Search Console and Google Analytics. Both of these tools are free and incredibly useful. I'll give a basic explanation on the basis of what you might need these for. Google Analytics will track visitors to your site so you can see where they came from, whether that's Google or Facebook. Well, it can also track conversions so you can see your conversion rate and which sources are working best for you. On top of this, you can see which pages led to them converting. Search Console allows you to assess how well your site is performing, what terms it is ranking for. You can submit your XML sitemap to Google, look for recent links to the site, and be alerted of a manual penalty if that ever happened. These should be set up as soon as possible so you have the best data feasible. You should also set up Bing Webmaster Tools, often ignored. On-page optimization. I previously mentioned the key term you want to target with each page or collection of terms. Well, it needs to be included in content. Don't keyword stuff though. It needs to be in your H1 and in your title. It should also include synonyms of the term. Make sure to use subheadings so the content is easier to read and navigate through. So if you go onto my blog post, you'll see a number of subheadings in every single article. Just helps it to break it up a little bit and so you can navigate to the part you want to read about. Talking of navigation, you might also want to add anchor tags to longer pieces of content so they can quickly drop down to the page to the relevant section. Make sure you have breadcrumbs on the page. Well, these can be marked up with breadcrumb schema so they show up on the search results. One of the most undervalued SEO tricks available to us is internal links. Unlike external backlinks, these can be made keyword rich without any issues, where they can also help users and search engines to navigate to critical pages and highlight these as high value. This is why you should always make sure all of your most powerful pages are within one click of the home page. Pagespeed Optimization. I could have sneaked this under on-page optimization, but I wanted to have its own unique section as it is so critical. One amazing study by Amazon showed that every 100 milliseconds of latency cost them 1% in sales. Considering they earn 35 billion per year, we're talking about a loss of 350 million. I'd recommend using GT metrics to have a look over your site and see what the biggest issues are. Some of those common are images that aren't compressed or loaded in the right size, or leveraging browser caching. If you improve the page speed, you may gain a slight boost on Google, but most critically, your conversion rate should improve, meaning more of your hard-earned visits will actually put in orders now. Mobile friendly. So this is probably a bit obvious at this point, but I remember before Mobilegeddon, what the internet looked like on mobiles, and it was hideous. Google changed so that they perform mobile first indexing, meaning it is looking at your mobile pages rather than seeing what you have on desktop. You can use the Google Mobile Friendly test to assess how optimized your site is for mobile. You need to also consider accessibility options, potentially for those who have poor eyesight or other issues. Tsl Certification. Your site should be on HTTPS, unless you want not secure being shown by Google to users. If you haven't set this up yet and your site is on the HTTP protocol, then I'd recommend watching my webinar on SEMrush on the subject where I go through the whole process. A site migration is never fun, but this one is critical. We also created this Trello list, which you can find on my blog, to help you through the whole process. It goes through every single step you need to do. Schema Markup. Schema is a semantic vocabulary that marks up sections of your website for search engines so that they can better interpret the content with various benefits for you. There are various types of markup you might want to consider depending on the nature of the content you are showing. For example, imagine you wrote up some CBD food options. You could use recipe schema, so it shows pivotal parts on the search landscape, which can help to increase the click-through rate. If you have a store, you might want to make it up with a local business schema. I hope you found these tips useful. I'll make sure to post pending more, but enjoy.